Is Phu Quoc really disputed, or is the internet lying to you? In today's digital world, social media has become one of the strongest forces shaping public opinion. With just one short post, one video clip, or one image, millions of people can be influenced in a matter of hours. But speed often comes at a price. And that price is accuracy. In recent years, a growing number of online posts have questioned the status of Phu Quoc Island in the relationship between Vietnam and Cambodia. Some claim that Phu Quoc originally belonged to Cambodia, others suggest that it was taken by Vietnam during the colonial period. These claims are usually emotional. They are often simplified. And most of the time, they are not supported by reliable historical evidence. So this raises an important question. What is the truth? Is Phu Quoc really a disputed territory? Was it secretly transferred during colonial rule? Or are these stories simply modern rumors, amplified by digital platforms? To find real answers, we must return to historical records, legal principles, and diplomatic practice. Only by examining verified sources can we separate facts from misinformation. Before modern nation-states existed, Southeast Asia was organized very differently from today. Power was based on trade networks, tribute systems, and regional influence, rather than on fixed borders. Ancient kingdoms such as Funan, Chenla, and later Angkor exercised cultural and economic influence across wide areas of the Mekong region. The Gulf of Thailand, where Phu Quoc is located, was part of an important maritime network connecting China, India, and the Middle East. Islands like Phu Quoc played a role in navigation and commerce, but they were rarely governed through permanent administrative systems. It is important to understand this point. Cultural influence is not the same as legal sovereignty. Ancient empires did not define territory with precise maps, border markers, or centralized administration. From the 17th century onward, Vietnamese southward expansion, known as Nam Tien, gradually incorporated the Mekong Delta and nearby islands. Vietnamese settlers moved into the region and established fishing villages, farms, temples, and local communities. Phu Quoc became part of this process. Historical documents show that Vietnamese residents formed stable communities on the island. Local officials collected taxes, organized defense, and reported to authorities in southern Vietnam. By the early 19th century, under the Nguyen dynasty, Phu Quoc was formally administered as part of Ha Tien and later in Giang province. Imperial records placed the island clearly within Vietnam's territorial system. This marked a turning point. Phu Quoc was no longer just a loosely connected maritime space. It had become a governed territory under Vietnamese administration. Long before colonial rule, Phu Quoc was already integrated into Vietnam's political structure. In the 19th century, French colonial expansion transformed Southeast Asia. Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos were brought under French control and reorganized into French Indochina. Colonial rule was harsh and exploitative. But it also introduced modern administrative systems, population censuses, land registries, legal codes, and detailed maps. These records remain crucial for understanding territorial history today. Throughout the colonial period, French administrative documents consistently classified Phu Quoc as part of Cochinchina, southern Vietnam. The island was governed through Vietnamese provincial systems, under French supervision. French authorities built plantations, military facilities, and later prison complexes on Phu Quoc. All of these operated within the Vietnamese colonial framework, not under Cambodian administration. Some online rumors claim that France temporarily lent Phu Quoc to Vietnam. But there is a problem. No official treaty, decree, or diplomatic document supports this claim. Extensive archival research by professional historians has found no evidence of any transfer or loan arrangement. On the contrary, French maps, censuses, and reports repeatedly confirmed Vietnam's administration of the island. When decolonization began in the 1950s, international law followed the principle of uti possidetis juris. This principle states that newly independent countries inherit their colonial administrative borders. As a result, Phu Quoc entered the post-colonial era as internationally recognized Vietnamese territory. After independence, both Vietnam and Cambodia faced decades of war and political instability. These conflicts complicated border management, especially in mainland areas near the Mekong Delta. Relations reached their lowest point during the Khmer Rouge period and the Vietnamese intervention in Cambodia in 1978. Yet even during this extremely tense period, Phu Quoc was never officially claimed by Cambodian governments. Instead, disputes focused on certain land borders and nearby maritime zones. These issues were addressed through long-term diplomatic negotiations. In 1982, Vietnam and Cambodia signed agreements recognizing historical boundaries. Later treaties in 2005 and subsequent years strengthened cooperation in border management. Although some maritime delimitation remains incomplete, Phu Quoc has never been treated as a disputed territory. Diplomatic practice matters. Cambodia has maintained formal relations with Vietnam without challenging Vietnam's control over Phu Quoc. Cambodian citizens travel to the island under Vietnamese visas. Trade and tourism operate under Vietnamese law. Within ASEAN, both countries have emphasized peaceful dialogue and regional stability. In international relations, silence and consistent behavior are meaningful. The absence of official claims over decades strongly confirms recognition of Vietnam's sovereignty. If historical and legal evidence is so clear, why do rumors continue to spread? The answer lies in how social media works. Online platforms reward emotional content. Posts that trigger anger, pride, or fear receive more attention than balanced analysis. Algorithms amplify sensational narratives. Many viral claims about Phu Quoc follow three common patterns. First, they misuse ancient history. They highlight Khmer cultural influence and imply modern ownership. This ignores the difference between culture and sovereignty. Second, they circulate misleading maps. Some are unofficial sketches, others show spheres of influence rather than borders. When taken out of context, they become tools of misinformation. Third, they promote conspiracy theories. Stories about secret agreements attract attention because they cannot be easily verified. Nationalist emotions also play a role. During periods of uncertainty, territorial narratives become symbols of identity and pride. Echo chambers reinforce these beliefs. This phenomenon is global. Similar misinformation exists in many regions of the world. The danger is that repeated exposure slowly reshapes public perception, especially among young audiences. Today, Phu Quoc is one of Vietnam's most dynamic economic and tourism centers. Modern airports, international flights, and global investment have transformed the island. Cambodian tourists, workers, and investors actively participate in this development. Cross-border cooperation continues to grow in trade, education, and culture. From a legal perspective, Vietnam's sovereignty over Phu Quoc rests on three foundations. First, continuous administration for more than 2 centuries. Second, consistent international recognition. Third, the absence of official counterclaims. These meet the standards of modern international law. But history is not only about documents. It is also about memory and emotion. Some people associate territorial issues with past injustice or lost glory. These feelings deserve understanding, not manipulation. Vietnam and Cambodia face shared challenges: climate change, environmental protection, cyber threats, and regional security. These problems cannot be solved through online arguments. They require cooperation. Phu Quoc should not become a symbol of division. It can become a bridge between cultures and generations. Phu Quoc is not a disputed territory. It is not a colonial accident. It is not the result of secret agreements. It is the product of centuries of settlement, administration, and international recognition as part of Vietnam. Rumors may continue to appear. But rumors fade. Documents remain. History remains. In the long run, truth is stronger than noise.